Hi, everyone. As many of you may know, I'm Betty, and I'd like to give you all a big welcome back to Robert's Basement. I'm really excited to show off a full-cycle demonstration of the top-of-the-line 1965 Ward's Signature automatic washer. But before we get started, let me introduce today's guests. First, let me introduce our very knowledgeable friend, Washerman.
Thank you, Betty. I'm very excited, as this Ward's washer will be the first large-capacity automatic that we've ever demonstrated here in Robert's Basement.
And next, I'd like to welcome back to the Washer Wonderland my good friend Gladys Kravitz.
Thank you so much, Betty and Robert, for inviting me back. This is so exciting. I brought along a nice washload of towels for all of us to try out in the Ward Signature. When I told my neighbor across the street that I was coming here again, her uncle was there and asked if he could come along. Everyone, please say hello to Uncle Arthur.
Boy, this certainly is a very interesting basement. I've seen a lot of interesting places in my day, but this one sure does take the cake.
It's very nice to meet you, Arthur. Okay, here we are, the 1965 15-pound Ward Signature automatic washer in a beautiful, rich copper-tone brown color. Copper tone was first introduced by Frigidaire in 1959 as Aztec copper and was quickly adopted by other brands of appliances in the early 60s. Isn't it just lovely, Gladys?
Betty, it's just beautiful. I read recently that some experts say copper-tone brown conveys warmth and stability. Arthur, what do you say it conveys?
Regret.
Well, on that note, let's turn on the control panel lights and take a closer look. Whether your family is big, small, or just beginning to grow, Ward's has the washer to fit your needs. This giant 15-pound tub holds more than a third again of any other washer of its time. And don't worry about strain. Its power-packed motor handles a full 15 pounds without breaking a sweat. With 12 cycles built right in, you've got true versatility at your fingertips. You can tackle a giant family wash with ease, then reset the dials and safely launder even the most delicate items. Choose just the right amount of water and detergent for any load from 2 to 15 pounds. You can even wash in cold if you wish. Powerful, versatile, and thrifty, this Ward's washer uses only 53 gallons of water for a full family load. That's modern efficiency, the Montgomery Ward's way.
Wow, Betty, that sure is a ginormous wash tub. What are those ports for on the left and right sides?
Arthur, those are completely automatic dispensers. On the right side is the timed bleach dispenser. Just pour in your liquid bleach, and the machine releases it at the exactly right time in the wash cycle. On the left, you add your fabric softener, which is released a few minutes after agitation begins. No waiting or running back to the machine after you've gone on to other things. The Ward's does it all for you, all automatically. Now notice that rubber cap with the little nubs on top of this powerful Ward's agitator. That's the scrubber cap. You can use it to rub away stubborn stains right on the spot while the agitator keeps moving the nubs back and forth. And finally, take a look at the back of the machine. There you'll find Ward's exclusive Easy Out lint filter. Just pull it from its bracket, empty it over your sink or wastebasket, and pop it right back in. Fast, simple, and sanitary. That's the Ward's way.
Wait, Betty, are you saying that in the 1960s housewives would hold wet, soapy clothes against those rubber nubs on the moving agitator to scrub out stains?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Imagine a company selling a device like that today. You'd have people losing arms left and right. Of course, in the 60s, we were smarter. We only lost a few fingers and just kept on scrubbing.
Betty, what about the 12 cycles this washer has? I'm interested to hear all about those.
Well, now, Gladys, let's take a look at the program selector. Think of it as your washer's very own built-in brain. Right here, you see 8 of the 12 possible cycles. Everything a busy household could ever need. There's a cycle for pre-soak, 3 cycles for cottons and linens, 1 for your wash and wear items, a cold water wash, and even a special cycle that's perfect for your delicate knits. Lift the lid and you'll find the full cycle chart, neatly printed underneath for quick reference. Cycle A is for soak. B, C, and D are your regular cycles. E is wash and wear. F is regular cold water wash. G is for delicates, and H is for heavier knit items that need a fast spin but gentle agitation. And for your toughest loads, there are even 4 superwash bonus cycles that add extra agitation time, ideal for ground in dirt and grime. The operation couldn't be simpler. You just press the program selector button you want and set the wash timer dial to the matching letter, and that's all there is to it. So many choices, yet so simple. From delicates to durables, Ward's has a cycle for every kind of modern family wash load.
Wow, Betty. I can't think of a single thing I couldn't wash in this amazing machine. Washerman. How complicated is the mechanism? Could it break down often?
I'm glad you asked that, Gladys. This Ward's Signature automatic washer is proudly designed and built by the Norge division of Borg-Warner Industries. Norge not only makes their own line of washers and dryers, but also builds the fine Ward's models, just like the one you're about to see washing. And you may remember their famous slogan, "Knock on any Norge." One touch tells the story. Solid, sturdy, dependable. I'm not exaggerating when I say this washer is built like a tank. The large-capacity Norge and Ward's washers first appeared in the great redesign of 1964, and this particular 1965 model, it's one of the very first in their brand-new line of plus-capacity washers. Modern engineering at its finest. These machines had by far the largest capacity of any automatic washer on the market at the time, all built to tackle the biggest family wash. No other washer could handle more clothes all at once. And when it comes to servicing, Ward's makes it easier than ever, thanks to the new revolutionary CFS design. CFS stands for Complete Front Service, and it eliminates the cause of 1 out of every 3 service calls. With Complete Front Service, every part of the washer can be reached from the front. No need to wrestle the machine out of its place. That's a real advantage if your washer is in a tight or crowded spot. From the control panel at the top, to the washer's inner workings beneath the top, to the front service panel at the bottom, everything is right at your fingertips. You can even change the drive belt in a flash, simply by reaching through the bottom plate openings. And remember, just one simple drive belt powers both the pump and the transmission. Complete Front Service, another Ward's innovation that saves time, trouble, and money. Now let's take a peek inside the cabinet and see the working heart of this Ward's automatic. First, the machine is powered by a rugged 1/2 horsepower motor. Plenty of muscle for the heaviest family wash. Next comes the all-steel transmission, built tough and sized especially for this large capacity washer. Power flows from the motor into the transmission, giving you 2 speeds of agitation, 70 strokes per minute for regular loads, and a gentle 46 strokes per minute for delicates. When it's time to spin, the tub whirls at a brisk 620 revolutions per minute on normal or 405 RPM on low for wash and wear and delicate fabrics. A heavy-duty pump moves water at an impressive 18 gallons per minute, whether recirculating through the lint filter or sending it straight down the drain. And thanks to a built-in pump protector, small objects like buttons or pins can't harm the pump. Now look below. Mounted on the support cone are 4 sturdy suspension leaves, each tipped with woven brake band pads that rest on the corner supports. These leaves keep the washer steady and smooth during spin, even with a load that's moderately out of balance. And should a badly unbalanced load occur, the washer automatically stops and sounds a warning buzzer, alerting you to redistribute the clothes. Powerful, reliable, and smartly engineered. That's the Ward's way of making wash day reliable as well as easy. And before we finish, here's one last feature worth noting. Ward's Safety Spin Brake. The fastest tub brake in the industry. If the lid is open during spin, the brake springs into action instantly. A tight brake band stops the tub completely in just 2 seconds flat. No other washer offers safety like this. Watch as we will manually demonstrate the brake by pushing in the dial to stop the washer. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wasn't that simply amazing? Now for today's demonstration, we've disconnected the lid switch so you can watch the full cycle from start to finish. But in everyday use, the moment that lid is raised, the spin stops automatically, protecting you and your family. That's Ward's Safety Spin Brake, built for peace of mind.
Thank you, Washerman, for that wonderful description of the Ward's mechanicals and specifications. And now are we all ready to put our demonstration wash load into the machine?
I sure am. I can't wait to see this machine wash my towels.
Me too. I like my entertainment with plenty of suds.
Okay, first, Robert, if you would be so kind as to remove the Easy Out lint filter tray, this makes it easier to load. Also, please remove the rubber scrubber cap, and that will give us a better view down into the tub without the cap blocking a portion of the view. We will put the scrubber cap back on briefly during the wash cycle, so we, along with our friends at home, can see what it looks like washing with the cap on. While Robert starts loading the machine, Gladys, would you be so kind as to tell everyone at home what you've brought us to wash today for our demonstration load?
My pleasure, Betty. For today's wash, I brought 6 of my big thirsty bath towels, 6 hand towels, my pie dough rolling cloth, and my rolling pin cover. I thought that should be enough for a full load, Betty, but after seeing the size of that huge wash tub, I may not have brought enough. I can call Abner and have him bring a few more towels over if you think that's too little.
No, I think what you've brought, Gladys, is perfectly fine. It does look like we could add another couple of big towels to this load, but let's underload it slightly, which will make for some wonderful rapid turnover of the load for our viewers at home. Now we can just pop the lint filter back in place, and we're ready for the next step, which is one of my favorites.
There it is again, that strange music coming out of nowhere. It sounds like it's time for Search for Tomorrow or Love of Life.
Nope, you can watch your soap operas later, Gladys, but that music in Robert's washer videos means it's time to add the soap. Today we're using Safe Flow Sudsing Dash in our automatic. Normally we'd use a high sudsing detergent, but for today's show, we want to avoid having suds completely blocking the view during the wash cycle, like this. Dash keeps our suds level safe, so we can see what's going on in the big tub. Gladys, would you mind telling everyone all about Dash while I make a quick trip upstairs to the car for a minute, as I forgot to bring in my camera?
I'll join you for the trip, Betty.
Okay, Washerman, come along.
Of course, Betty. Arthur, did you happen to hear that Dash makes your automatic clean like it's 10 feet tall?
No, I haven't. What do you mean?
Watch, just like this.
Brought to you by new Extra Strength Dash that makes your automatic clean like it's 10 feet tall.
Wait, they're saying Dash makes your automatic clean like it's 10 feet tall? Oh, that's too good.
Oh, Uncle Arthur, now look, you made Gladys run and hide. Please undo your practical joke before Betty and Washerman get back.
Okay, spoil sport. Control Z.
We're back. But what's going on down here? I thought I heard Gladys screaming.
Betty, you're not going to believe this, but I was telling Arthur and Robert how Dash makes your automatic clean like it's 10 feet tall. Then all of a sudden the washer started getting bigger and broke right through the ceiling.
What? That's just crazy. Gladys, everything looks just fine in here. I said we're all going to go out for a martini lunch after the demonstration, not before.
But I know what I saw.
Well, let's just get on with the demonstration. Okay, Robert, please pour in the detergent and we can get the machine started. Okay, we're going to choose cycle B today for a hot wash and warm rinse with normal agitation and spin speeds. Then we're going to choose high for the water level. After that, you push in the dial and align it to the program selector button that we pushed, which is B. Then just pull the dial out and away we go.
Now, while the wash tub is filling, and that takes a few minutes, let's quickly review the ward's regular cycle so we'll know just what to expect. For the most part, it's the standard cycle you find in any vintage large-capacity perforated tub automatic washer. But here's something unusual. The first drain and spin spray period is quite different than what Norge and Wards would use later on. It's called the extract cycle, and it was specially designed to prevent suds locking, as these early machines had no slipping clutch driving the spin, so any suds dragging on the tub would overload the motor. In fact, this special 5-step first spin was only featured in the first 2 years of production. Starting with the 1966 models, the cycle was revised to what most folks would remember from the late 60s and right on through the 1970s after they added a spin clutch to their machines. When we get to the first spin, watch closely, as I think everyone will find this very interesting.
Betty, quick question. How high does the water level fill up to in the tub?
You're going to love this, Arthur. It fills right to the top, past that upper row of perforations. Plenty of water for a thorough, complete washing. Not like today's machines that try to get by on a teacup of water and call that a wash, please.
Wow. Just wow, Betty. I can't believe how powerful the agitation is in this machine. It sure does look like it's cleaning my towels really well.
I couldn't agree more, Gladys. With that big, smooth Bakelite agitator, you get the most powerful washing action, yet strong enough to handle a full 15-pound load, and gentle enough to keep clothes safe from tangling or bunching. The Montgomery Ward's agitator design features exclusive soft-edge vanes that virtually eliminate fabric wear, even on your most delicate garments. And now, just as we promised earlier, we'll put the scrubber cap back on so you can see the wash exactly as it would look in everyday use.
Well, it certainly looks like a great machine to me, although she is a noisy one, that's for sure.
I noticed that as well. My Maytag washer certainly is quieter than this. But I'm still totally impressed with this great wash action in this machine.
Yes, in 1966, when a similar Ward's automatic washer was tested by Consumer Reports, it was rated number 5 of the 16 middle-of-the-line models tested that year. They mentioned the Ward's was the noisiest of all the machines tested. Although it's still not too bad, it certainly isn't a quiet machine. During this short 60-second pause period, let's take a moment to point out the unusual extract cycle found in the earliest plus-capacity Norge and Ward's automatics. It's a 5-step process, unlike anything that came later. First, the machine begins with a neutral drain, fully draining the tub. Then the tub spins for only 15 seconds, just enough time to reach full speed. Next, the spin solenoid is released, allowing the tub to coast down slowly while spraying water to clear the large sump of suds. Finally, it drains once more before moving into the 2-minute rinse spin. This special 5-step extract was used only for the first couple of years. Sometime in 1966, the design was changed to a slipping clutch spring, which now gradually brought the tub up to speed slowly, like how most of us remember these machines from the late 60s and beyond.
certainly right, Betty, when you said earlier that we have underloaded the machine a bit for selecting high on the water level control. It could fit a few more towels easily. This is the biggest washing machine tub I've ever seen.
That's very true, Gladys. And notice as well, Ward's gives a full 4 minutes of rinse agitation. That's plenty of time to pull the spun clothes away from the sides of the tub and get them turning over, so the entire load is fully saturated with fresh, clean rinse water. By comparison, a few other brands of automatics allow only 2 minutes of rinse agitation, and with a big family wash, that's hardly enough to turn the load over even once. 4 full minutes for a fresher rinse. That's the performance you get from a Ward Signature. And there we have it, folks. A full cycle in our 1965 Ward's Automatic took 40 minutes and 8 seconds to complete with a 10-minute wash selected. It looks like it really did do a wonderful job on your towels, Gladys.
Wow, I'm so very impressed with the strong performance in this washer. My towels look absolutely fresh and clean. Betty, can we please dry them now in the matching Ward's dryer that's next to it?
Of course. First, let's unload it, and then we will put them in the dryer. Now let's clean the Easy Out lint filter. Look at all this lint that was caught. It's safely in the filter and not in your wash load. Now everyone take a look at the Ward's exclusive 3-position hamper door on their top-of-the-line dryers. Position 1 is the chute for easy loading, position 2 operates as a shelf, and position 3 drops all the way down for easy unloading directly into your clothes basket. Now let's set the door back to the clothes chute position and load the towels into the dryer. Now we'll set the dial for the regular automatic dry cycle. No more guesswork, just place your wash inside and the dryer does the rest. It senses when your cottons and linens are perfectly dry, then shuts itself off automatically. And for extra wrinkle-free results, the clothes continue tumbling without heat for 5 minutes, leaving them soft, fresh, and cool to the touch. That's modern drying convenience at its finest.
And now I want to thank all of you at home for joining us on today's program. Through the miracle of modern artificial intelligence, the voices of Betty, Gladys, Uncle Arthur, and myself have been brought back to life. Back in the 1950s and 60s, such a thing could only have been a dream. And yes, we understand that some may feel uncertain about AI voices in pictures, but we see it as a way of honoring their legacy. After all, these are beloved television characters we all truly cherish. It's nothing short of witchcraft that we can keep something so special alive and share it again today with everyone. We hope to see you all next time here on the Automatic Washer Channel.
And finally, are we ready for our famous catchphrase?
May I do it, Betty?
Of course, Arthur. Please go right ahead.
You can be sure if it's Ward's signature. Just don't run the machine late at night, or you'll have neighbors calling to complain.